MSR is located in Seattle and still manufactures much of their gear at their Soto headquarters. You're probably familiar with their backpacking and mountaineering gear, like stoves and tents. What's interesting though is they also make excellent winter backcountry tools like probes, shovels, and saws, as well as ski touring poles for both backcountry skiing, snowboarding, and snowshoeing. Behind their designs are passionate engineers and scientists who strive to create better solutions to the real world needs of backcountry adventurers. Because of this, their designs are simple, functional, and reliable. Their philosophy is to give you everything you need and nothing that you don't, so that you can trust your gear when you need it the most. You can check out their winter equipment at msrgear.com. Shifting gears here, our next presenter is Dan Kaveney. Dan's the executive director at the American Avalanche Association, which is also known as A3. He's here this evening to discuss A3 and ISSW, the International Snow Science Workshop. So Dan, I'll let you take it from here.
All right. Well, thanks, Scott. I'll see what I can do to get my screen shared here. Give me a minute. I think I'm about there. Hang on. All right. There we go. All right. So thanks, everybody. I'm just going to spend a short minute here talking about the American Avalanche Association. We've been keeping people safe in avalanche country for, since 1986. We like to focus on three main areas: education and professional development, publishing, and outreach. And I'll get into a little more detail on that in just a minute. So 2019-20, just looking back for a moment, was a good season for us. We sponsored 14 snow and avalanche workshops like this one across the country with financial support, delivered 2 research grants to promising young avalanche scientists. We coordinated the 3rd successful season of the new pro training program for aspiring and existing avalanche pros. We sponsored the ISSW, and that turned into sponsoring the VSSW this year, but we'll continue our work with the International Snow Science Workshop going forward. We added about 400 new members, printed and mailed 4 issues of the Avalanche Review, our journal that has all the best writing and new science about avalanches, and went ahead with a bunch of book publishing. Our outreach program, we focused hard on avalanche.org, and the development continued. The traffic more than doubled. We work with the National Avalanche Center in partnership with avalanche.org, so it is a clearinghouse of all the avalanche forecasts from around the country, information about education and avalanches in general. And plus, we're involved with those back office tools that Dennis was talking about. So it's a big outreach project for us. And our social media outreach has been on a dramatic uptick. The thing I get asked a lot, so I'm going to move this to the front of the presentation, is, what are you guys doing, this 2021 season with COVID and everything? And of course, COVID's been hard on everybody. It's been particularly hard on a lot of nonprofits. We are fortunate enough to be in pretty good shape as we enter this season. But last March, when it was becoming pretty clear that this was going to be with us for a while and that we needed to plan for sort of a different kind of year, I asked the board to help me focus on really what should we be doing? How could we benefit the avalanche community most effectively during this COVID epidemic? And so the board went off and did a lot of debate and so on and so forth. But in the end, they came back and they told me they really wanted me to focus on things that build and maintain community and that benefit the largest numbers of our members the most directly. So here's our COVID year plan that really does emphasize focus on community. So the Avalanche Review, our journal, is really an extremely popular part of A3 and A3 membership. And so we're going to continue to print and mail that as normal. There won't be any changes there. But we have launched a new online version of the Avalanche Review to add to it. I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute in more detail, but you can see it now at the avalanchereview.org. We're very excited about this new thing. We're also beginning a new seminar series, one seminar per month, November through March. And they're going to be fully online, of course. The first one, they're free to American Avalanche Association members. The first one will be this coming November 5th at about 6:30 after our general membership meeting. Look for email from me about that, A3 members. We're pretty excited about the series, and I think it's going to be a great bunch of talks. We're continuing to emphasize our SAW grants. We gave at least the same amount of support as we did in 2019-20 to everybody who applied for a grant in 2021. We view these as very important parts of education, and we want to approach it. We began our inclusivity project about a year ago, and early on in our inclusivity project, we were really focused on women. We recently did a series and discovered that about 90, what is it? I should have had this number memorized. I don't. It's about 95% of our members are male. So we're anxious to increase the number of female members. And we've also decided we need to expand that to include, other underrepresented groups in the Avalanche field. So we're working hard in a variety of projects to make that happen. We've had some success increasing diversity, but we have a long way to go. Continuing to focus on avalanche.org. Again, a lot of that focus has to do with updating the platform and making it stable for these back office projects that Dennis was talking about. We're planning on a lot of outreach to new backcountry users. We're expecting a ton of new backcountry users this year, people who don't know what they don't know. They're hard to reach. And so we're working with newspapers and other ways to get the message out that they need to get some avalanche training. And we've always published some books and reference stickers, snow, weather, and avalanche guidelines, the snowy torrents, and some reference stickers for avalanche observations. You can go to American Avalanche Association and go to the store and buy those hard copies. We'll send them to you in the mail. And we're still doing that, but this year we are, I just put them up there for free as well. We don't want there to be a cost barrier between that information and its users. So go on over to AmericanAvalancheAssociation.org, go to the store, and you'll see a button where you can download swag, snowy torrents, and the reference stickers for free, digital copies. And then we're going to continue to push on the pro training program this year. All of the pro training providers are offering pro courses. If you want to take a pro course, it would be good to get yourself signed up because I know that they are filling fast. This is a little bit out of order because I wanted to start with the COVID stuff, but just in a general overview of what we do in general is education and professional development. We always focus on snow and avalanche workshop support, avalanche education, both pro course certification, and recreational course reviewing and standards. This year, we have decided that to put our professional development scholarships and our research support grants on hold. We view that as very important, but it's going to be on hiatus until the 21-22 season. We feel like we need to be conservative given all the uncertainty. So those will be back next season. I've already mentioned a little bit about our publishing program. Here's the most recent Avalanche review, 39.1. All members get a copy. I mentioned, our notions of free downloads of all these things. I want to take a minute, though, and talk a little bit about the digital version of TAR, of the Avalanche Review, which we affectionately call TAR, that you can find at the avalanchereview.org. This is based on, but different from, the print version. We're emphasizing those articles that benefit from the rich media that it's fun to do over the net. Timeless articles that are good for people to have right at their fingertips. We think that people are going to want to read them on a regular basis. And also timely articles where we think people are going to want to read them right away. And if they don't fit in with the print cycle of our print publishing program. So anyway, I'd encourage you all to take a look at this. I think it's a good addition to the suite. I would be remiss if I did not mention our major sponsors. We're very fortunate to have very good, solid relationships with a lot of different companies. And these sponsors, CIL Explosives, PEEPS, MND Safety, which used to be TAS, Backcountry Access, Arc'teryx, VESAN Avalanche Control, and Onyx Maps, have really stuck with us, as have many of our other smaller sponsors through their own periods of uncertainty. So these people are the ones that allow us to give out grants to the SAWs, keep the pro training program going, continue on with printing and mailing the Avalanche Review, which is a very expensive proposition. So, I'd encourage you to talk them up and support them when you can, because they support your community. So that's about all I had for you today. We are always recruiting members. There are 3 levels of membership. You can, Avalanche professionals make up about 60% of our membership. These are people who make their living in avalanches. And we'd encourage you to join at that level if that's you. Affiliate members are usually people who are sort of moving in the direction of some sort of semi-professional or professional avalanche career. And then general members are anybody who is interested in avalanches and wants to keep up to date on them. It's very easy to keep in constant update about the latest science and the latest goings on in the avalanche world by becoming a member of the American Avalanche Association. And I'd encourage you to just pop a quick email to join@avalanche.org. It'll kick you back all the instructions you need to become a member, or you can go find us at americanavalancheassociation.org, where we have a membership page. And
thanks, Dan.
I think that's all I have to say.
Yeah, so, the Northwest Snow and Avalanche workshop, I should say we have received a grant from A3. Thank you very much. That helps us cover some of the costs of putting this programming on. One thing that's unique with the Northwest Snow and Avalanche workshop is we have a large portion of our attendees are non-professional recreationists, unlike some of the other SAWs across the country. So just wondering if you want to give another, like, how much does it cost for a general membership, for a recreationist?
Well, thank you for that, Scott. Yeah, and we're very happy to give the grant. We love NSAW. So we're very anxious to, have recreational people join us, and it's inexpensive. It costs $35 a year, and if you join, you get benefits such as free ongoing education seminars. There are some periodic discounts on gears from our sponsors. You get the opportunity to participate in contests to win cool prizes, and you get the Avalanche Review mailed to you. I think that the biggest benefit is it's a very easy way to keep up with what's going on in the avalanche world, and it's an easy way to support this field that's so important to all of us. I often talk to people who've been members for, 20 years or so, and I ask them, what keeps you going on this? And the answer is always some kind of variation on, I just want to be a part of it. And this is a way to be a part of it. So, we'd love to have any of those of you out there who'd like to do that.
Yeah, and maybe just for clarity here, maybe you can give a 30-second elevator spiel of what the Avalanche Review is, because I believe many of our listeners may not even be aware of that particular publication and its significance in the snow and avalanche world.
Yeah, well, it's a quarterly. Well, it's not really quarterly. We publish it 4 times a winter, in October, December, February, and April. And it features reports of new science that is just coming out. We talk about the various season summaries from all of the avalanche centers around the country. There are reports on interesting avalanche activities that we can all learn from, and sort of basic information about what's been going on with the personnel and at the various different avalanche centers. It's a very popular publication. If somebody's doesn't arrive, I hear about it right away. And it's got a lot of great artwork and photos in it too. So I'd encourage you all to check it out.
Yeah, I mean, it is a staple, I believe, in all professionals. Some very cutting edge articles in there, but there's also a lot of opportunity there for serious recreationists to get some solid information out of it, especially around decision making, group dynamics. There's just some wonderful topics in there that I think the savvy backcountry user would also get something out of. So I'd encourage everyone on the program tonight to check out A3's website and consider signing up for membership.
And it's easier and easier to get a sense of the Avalanche Review now, because you can just go to the new online version at theavalanchereview.org, where we have sample articles that really give you a good sense of what we feature in the printed version.
Awesome. Well, I think that's about all the time we have for questions. Dan, I appreciate you taking the time out of your evening and chatting with us.
That's it. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was great to be here.
Awesome. Have a good night, Dan.
Thanks.